4. Vamos al octágono. Se viene la siguiente pelea.
It's fun to watch.
I'm telling you, I don't catch most of it.
Me neither.
But,
Yeah.
but it's getting me excited.
Yeah.
It gets me excited.
Here it is, the tail of the tape. You can see a little bit of information, maybe not on the graphic, but we've got it here for you. Lauda, Acosta, and Karol Duarte. Duarte, 139 pounds, Acosta, 137. Bit of a reach advantage for Acosta, about 4 inches, and height advantage as well. So in terms of physical advantages, you got to go with the older, more experienced, battle-tested Lauda Acosta.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm just impressed that you got a 15-year-old stepping in here. That's unbelievable. The dedication to that, to be just the nerves to do that. I mean, the confidence to be like, oh, not that I just like to train and that I find this enjoyable and that I'm going to be a fighter someday, but that like, no, I'm ready to go test myself right now.
Implementation, and instead of other sports, right? I mean, a lot of her classmates, as with Brandon Sanchez, likely not fighting, probably playing football or some of the other activities that kids get up to.
Yeah, it's got to be difficult for them even to relate to the dedication that it takes and what you're doing at that point. They might not have the respect for it that should be there, but pretty incredible.
There you can see in the back, kicks expected. Hopefully that's the theme all night, John. If we're just getting a lot of strikers, a lot of kick-heavy opponents, that's certainly going to be a fun affair for us.
I'm okay with that. Said first time down here in Colombia, I was anxious kind of all week to really see the type of talent that's down here, see where the scene is at, and what's to come in the future. And bright start so far, that's for sure.
See, we got some fans in the building. A lot of love from the Bogota crowd so far through our first fight. You know, I had to stop in November, and it's just been occurring to me the last couple of days. Really wish I had a better finger on the pulse of Spanish. That would be that'd be pretty helpful.
It would be beneficial. You got some homework to do between the next time you make it down here.
Todos juntos hemos traído a ustedes este espectáculo. Empire número 4. Siente de poder a poder, arriba, de poder a poder.
Yeah, one big factor of tonight's event, veteran referee Tommy Santana, all the way up from Rhode Island, making the trip down. Super accredited, very nice guy, and one of the best self-awareness guys inside the octagon. Right, he rarely makes mistakes. No hair, no need.
Very passionate about the sport for sure. Wants things to be done the right way and holding everybody to standards. So he's got a long night ahead of him. We're certainly putting in the work all week long.
I'm liking the kicks on the ref we have inside the octagon here. Some slick A1s downstairs, maybe.
Great observation. Skinny jeans too. That's a look.
He maintains that dexterity despite a lot of tightness in the in the downstairs. It's impressive. I wouldn't be able to move that quick.
Just looks uncomfortable.
I think he's got a chain on as well.
Oh,
I mean, he's dripping. This guy's, he is iced out here at Empire MMA 4. Once again, tonight's fights are brought to you by Burger King. Where in the world to find the Whopper? No other place than Burger King. Go grab one today.
And a sandwich they named after me, by the way.
The Irresistible King.
The Irresistible King I saw on the menu while we were there for ceremonial weigh-ins. I was like, look at that. They know my nickname. How about that?
They knew JM was coming down to town, so they had to personalize the menu a little.
Thanks, Burger King.
You know, interesting additions to their menu, which sets them apart from other fast food chains. A lot of vegetables, right? You got the veggie chicken nuggets, you got the veggie patties. You know, I don't subscribe, but I love the options.
Tune in for the fights. Stay for the fast food menu breakdown.
That's where the real magic happens.
That's where it's at. Empire MMA 4. That's what we do. A little last second scrambling here to get everybody in place here for fight number 2.
You know, as just mentioned, we want to do it right, as per Tommy Santana, following the philosophy. And while we have a moment, we got a look at that inaugural flyweight title. That looks fantastic. Really high-quality leather. You've got the Burger King logo on the side. I tried to campaign for them to put the Burger King logo front and center. I was outvoted.
Yeah, you know, you got to pay extra for that, man. We can talk about that in the contract renewal.
Yeah.
A Karol Duarte, esquina azul, Karol Duarte. Siguiente combate, segundo combate de esta noche. Estamos a la espera de que haga su arribo Karol Duarte.
The youngest fighter.
63.
The youngest fighter on the card at 15, Karol Duarte, looks to prove that her age doesn't define her abilities as a mixed martial artist. Her lone outing was a setback to Michelle Casamayor, but she extended it to the third round, whereas Michelle's other opponents were unconscious within 30 seconds, John. Under the tutelage of Combate Global's Javier Rugeles, lots of anticipation for how Duarte will bounce back from that evening in August as she pens a new chapter of her combat sports story tonight.
Listen, that's what you're trying to do early on, right? You're gonna take those lessons. You're gonna find yourself in some bad spots, but you learn. Okay, that's how you identify what it is you need to get better at, where the improvements need to be made in the gym. You just don't get that without live competitions. The question is, do you go back and fix it? What do you do to make those adjustments? And at 15 years old, I mean, can you imagine the type of strides and changes you can make? It'll be interesting to see what she shows here tonight. And again, just to start it out this early in your career, then imagine, you turn pro at like 17, 18 with 8 or 10 fights under your belt. It'll be impressive to see what she can do.
Additionally, right, the most malleable stage of your career at that age. You pick up tools, tricks, new abilities so easily. Here she is, Karol Duarte. We take a look at that tail of the tape. Again, 15 years old for Karol Duarte, 28 for Laura Acosta. She will benefit from a bit of a height and reach advantage. We'll see how she uses that tonight.
A Laura Acosta.
At 28, the Bogota native Laura Acosta seeks to snap back-to-back defeats in 2022 and kick off the year in the right way. Again, she fell to Michelle Casamayor in November 2022. Before that, split decision loss to Catherine Mendoza at MMA FC2 in April. Which is a tough start, right? You kick off your career with a big win, third round TKO, and now back-to-back defeats. Mental game is the key for one Laura Acosta.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you just can't get down on yourself. Again, it is the amateur ranks. You're getting that experience. When you turn pro, it'll all reset. So you can't live with it too long. And I like the fact that she is trying to stay active and continue to get more experience under her belt in the move to the professional rank. So, you just got to put those behind, realize they don't matter in the grand scheme of things. Did you learn the lessons from them, and what can you do here tonight? And it's got to be, listen, it's got to be a little bit weird as an athlete to go in there knowing you're facing a 15-year-old as well. It's like, it's got to mess with you a little bit mentally.
Not often do you have a 13-year age gap in the opposite direction, right?
Yeah.
And sort of like we talked about with the first fight, Brandon Sanchez and Israel Alvarez, will there be a bit of a power differential, some athleticism? Sanchez proved that wasn't the case. Maybe history will repeat itself in our second fight of the evening at Empire MMA 4.
One of several women's fights tonight, by the way. Women well represented on this card, which is good to see.
Absolutely. Here she is, Laura Acosta, aiming to find her way back inside the win column. Funnily enough, each woman's prior opponent is one Michelle Casamayor, who is also fighting later on tonight's card. Once again, that tail of the tape, biggest storyline is going to be the 13-year differential. Karol Duarte, 15 years young, but really, sure of herself in the fighter meetings. She was a little bit nervous, I would say, but no real uncomfortability. And here inside the cage, she looks laser focused, John.
Picture of focus, to say the least. See how this thing starts out. I'm intrigued by this. Since I saw her 15 years old, I'm anxious to see what happens here.
Slowly stalking forward as both women could touch of gloves, show of respect. Opening front kick right there from Acosta, but Karol Duarte landing with a crisp combination, John.
They're going at it early. Slow pace out there, but they're letting it rip now.
Ooh.
Oh, my gosh.
Duarte pushing the pressure against the cage, now trying to find the way to the back. I think she's got those hands not locked.
No, Acosta was looking for that head and arm choke there for a moment. Duarte defended it well. Now she's trying to wrap the body. She presses the thing against the cage. Use that kind of power advantage that she might have here in the clinch.
Beautiful work by Duarte. Acosta tried to separate, move out. Karol brought her right back to the cage.
Yeah, strong work here, just keeping it in the position. Now let's see what she wants to do with it. It's one thing to hold your opponent there to maybe frustrate him a little. You see some wrist control on the right side there.
We talk about one of those storylines being the athleticism and potential power advantage that Acosta would benefit from, but Duarte just kind of pushing the pace whichever way she wants this fight to go, then lands with a big right hand on the break.
Yeah, nice left hand in there, separated. Her nose is busted up, though. You see blood streaming down there.
Oh, Acosta now putting on the pressure.
And here you talk about the youth. You know, what's the mindset like in here? Do you panic in this situation? You're bloodied up early. You've taken some big shots. How strong are you mentally at just 15 years old?
We shall definitely see where the willpower falls. 90 seconds remain in round number one. Back and forth affair. Acosta, though, seemingly the more effective and more impactful striker so far. But look at that. What a punch by Duarte.
Teeing off right now. Shots being landed on both sides.
Massive connection by Acosta. You can see some heavy deep breaths from Karol. Lots of blood flowing from that nose. Leg kicks right there from Laura. Big right hand.
Another straight right down the middle. She's got to be careful with that. You talk about, you see the deep breaths there. I mean, we talk about the altitude that we're at. Then you get damage to the nose. There's blood streaming down there. That's impacting your breathing as well. So Duarte really being put to the test here early.
Winging some wild hammers. Another right hand sneaks its way through the guard. Karol Duarte really displaying some chin here.
Yeah, Acosta, straight punches down the middle. Nice combinations, landing clean. 30 seconds remaining. Both of them taking a couple deep breaths there, so fatigue likely setting in on both sides. This has been a high tempo with big punches being exchanged both ways. There's a straight right once again.
Just can't miss. Boom, again on the cheek of Karol Duarte. We talk about that height and reach playing a factor. It's certainly benefiting Laura Acosta. Look at that, Acosta just urging her forward. Duarte answers the assignment.
Scrap here in the final seconds. The youngster unloading the tank at the bell.
Wow, Karol Duarte proving a lot in those first 3 minutes. Laura, we had a motorcycle helmet just fall.
So why did you stop talking? Well, the motorcycle helmet just fell on top of me.
A lot of mopeds here in Bogota, Colombia. Somebody's protection just went down south. You know, when we look at these highlights, you see Duarte just pressuring, just advancing, pushing forward, maybe eating one too many strikes in the clinch, right? That's likely where the nose was busted, but I love the tenacity of this 15-year-old.
Yeah, I mean, you really had a gut check in there, right? Like I said, where's the mentality at? You're busted up, you're bleeding. Do you quit? Do you fold? I mean, we see that happen sometimes. The answer was no, she did not. She continued to move forward. So I think the key is just going to be distance management here in round number two. I mean, both were sucking some wind there at the end, so the fatigue is definitely setting in. So if you're tired, you got to be able to look across the cage and realize, look, my opponent's just as tired. Let's make this happen. But I think if you're Duarte, the key is do not fight at range, because that's where those straight punches are being landed right down the middle over and over.
A magnetized chin on Karol Duarte. I mean, it just attracted that right hand time and time. Evasion is key. But for Laura Acosta, pretty good opening round.
Yeah, I mean, I think she took that on the judges' cards, I would assume. But she realizes she's in with somebody that's going to be game.
Once again, slow start. A lot of respect. Referee encouraging action 3 seconds in. Big connection, though, by Acosta. You know, despite eating all of these shots, Karol Duarte, great poker face. I mean, she's not letting any of this show.
Not at all. She just needs to get into the clinch here. She lands a nice big right here, big hooks over top. This is where I think she's most effective, especially if she can get a takedown. You see the body lock there, trying to slip around to the back.
Grips briefly broken but regained, and there it is. Karol Duarte secures the takedown right into mount, John.
Beautiful takedown, immediately into mount. You see head on the cage there for opponent. Doesn't have the feet and the ability to push off, so going to try to stand heavy on top. You see Acosta just kind of holding tight right now, preventing the posture, but I think Duarte is happy to kind of set up here, establish his mount, and drive some shoulders in there. A couple of shoulder strikes on top.
What a unique weapon that's been really leveraged so often. Now Duarte going to work at the ground and pound.
Posture's up there, big punches here. This is the most offensive moment of the fight so far for the 15-year-old.
Laura Acosta really not a fan of that ground and pound. You could see a couple winces as those punches connected from Karol.
A lot of time on the clock right now, too. And as it stands, Acosta was trying to buck her on. Now she's turning over. She's going to expose her back as she tries to escape here. Settled back down. That's going to allow Duarte to posture up and try to punch again. Acosta doing a good job of tying up the wrist underneath to slow down the pace. Looking for the sweep here.
Unable to get it. 90 seconds left on the clock. John, if you're Laura Acosta, what do you do to get out of this position?
Well, you've got to trap the wrist like she's doing right now. Now look at this. Beautiful spin here. She's got her feet on the cage. That's going to allow her to roll over. Well done there. Great awareness of where she was, putting herself in the proper position to escape. And now turning to the armbar.
Karol Duarte
extend this.
Deep in on the armbar. Acosta trying to defend effectively.
Oh, the hands. She's trying to clasp the hands. Can't quite do it right now. Difficult to see exactly where the pressure is on the elbow. Has she cleared the pressure? Definitely tenuous spot here.
40 seconds remain. I mean, there is enough time for Karol Duarte to complete this submission.
Yeah, you see right now Acosta is trying to step over. Now there's no pressure on it, so she's in a good spot here.
Beautiful work by Laura Acosta to evade that. Probably one of the most significant moments of the fight, and Acosta passed it with flying colors.
And look at this, knee on belly and steps over to mount a reversal of fortunes here late.
Couple hammer fists, 20 seconds with which to work. Can Laura put a stamp on round two?
Left arm dangling there. Will she look for the armbar right now? Just wants to have the hammer fist from the mount. Left knee pinning down. My goodness.
Are impactful shots to close out round number two. Laura Acosta and Karol Duarte just in an all-out firefight through 2 rounds. John Morgan, round number 3. What does each fighter need to do?
Well, first of all, can I just say how bad I feel for the judges right now? I mean, that's a back-and-forth round right there. If you look at some of the replays here, I do think, as we saw here, that the most effective position was Duarte was on the ground. Had this near armbar here, which was beautiful. Acosta dealt with it well, was able to defend. I just think, once again, if you're Karol Duarte, I'll be honest, I don't know which way that round went. I mean, I think that armbar was pretty significant. I think she had mount, but then her opponent finishes the mount doing some damage as well. Yeah. I think this is even going into the third, but I don't know that for a fact. But I think what you did see there from Duarte is that the clinch and the takedown is much better for you than trying to stand at range and the longer, taller opponent with the nice, crisp, straight punches down the middle. On the flip side of it, I think Acosta's got to be thinking exactly that. Like, do not let her get close to me. Stay away, punch. Just stick and move, We'll see.
Each fighter on the stool in between rounds. Laura Acosta, seemingly the fresher one. Karol Duarte, some grimacing ahead of round number 3. You got to think also, if you're Karol Duarte, similarly with this first fight, you have to mitigate those reversals. I mean, when you secure that takedown, keeping it is the most important thing. And I will say, they did throw that stool inside the octagon. I'm not sure if you saw. They just tossed it up from the side.
Curious, I don't know if are we missing a mouthpiece, or there's a little bit of delay. I thought maybe, that Duarte doesn't have her mouthpiece right now. I don't know what we're waiting on. I think that's what we're waiting on. Oh, they can't find it. The corner's looking around. They're saying, I don't know. We'll take a look as well. See if we can see it from our vantage point.
That looks like a mouthpiece, but
maybe I think it's right here. Yeah, it looks like it's right here on the ring. Yeah, they found it. That was the mouthpiece right there. They found it. We're good to go.
You know what? Black mouthpiece on a black top platform. Unsurprising that they lost it. Round number 3 between Laura Acosta and Karol Duarte. Each woman looking to bounce back inside the win column. They have 3 minutes with which to make that a reality.
Could have maybe given that thing a quick rinse, but we're going at it.
A little Aquafina.
Just something.
A little Club Colombia on it.
I mean, just a quick rinse might have been nice. Hey. Duarte doesn't mind. She's game. Let's go.
No sanitation needed for the 15-year-old. Really slow start here in round 3. Again, each woman trying to figure themselves out. Big shots from Acosta, but Duarte powering through like a linebacker to secure that position.
Smart work here again. I mean, this is where it was best for, and you see her right away trying to work on this trip. She's got the hands clasped. She's trying to turn to the outside to her right for the trip takedown. Doesn't quite get it there. Nice adjustment from Acosta.
Excellent balance from Laura as well. And we talk about those hammer fists, right? Maybe they're not the most impactful, but it's causing some significant damage on the face of one Karol Duarte.
Yeah, and again, just in this range right here, you're not allowing Acosta the opportunity to land those straight shots down the middle, which she had so much success with in round number 1. Duarte has really been making a dogfight ever since. And you can see, I mean, both of them, mouths wide open, struggling for air at altitude here. It's been a grinding pace.
Nothing but determination on display. 1 minute, 40 seconds remain in round number 3. It's really just a battle of attrition, as so many fights are. Who is willing to put in just a little bit more?
Yeah, and you see Acosta did a good job of getting off the fence here. As you said, battle of attrition, gut check there. She's this is where she wants to be, but does she have enough gas to really fire the punches? Right now you see the hesitation, and she just takes a deep breath.
Leg kick right there from Duarte. Briefly connects referee, urging on the action. Good moment right there with that leg kick.
Look, this fight could very well be hanging in the balance. That round 2 was back and forth, but I kind of think this is even right now. So this final minute could be massive for these two.
Final 60 seconds. One of these fighters is going to have to dig just a bit deeper. Big right hand by Acosta.
Yeah, you can see she started out really stringing together combinations. Now she's struggling to let them go.
It's that forward momentum of Karol Duarte. Even if you try and return fire, she's still going to push through the flames. Beautiful work by both. 30 seconds remain. Somebody's got to put a stamp on it, John.
Really do. I mean, I think a big takedown here. If Duarte could be big, front kick just missed there.
Couple left hands connect as well on the break. Karol Duarte.
Wow. Blood streaming down again. You see, I just don't think she has energy left in the tank at all. Couple right combination there. Duarte trying to move in.
She's just eating shots, no regard. Karol Duarte pushing forward the whole fight. What a fun scrap that was. That catchweight bout between Laura Acosta and Karol Duarte, you can see embracing after the war. John, take us through these highlights.
Yeah, you take a look at some of the replays here, and again, in this third and final round, Acosta was able to work at range a little bit more. You see her framing away, landing those right hands. And I think, honestly, that's kind of the tale of what happened here in the third and final round, was better strikes on the feet and was able to prevent the takedown, prevent too much time in the clinch. And you see both of them were just absolutely exhausted. I think those are kind of smiles of pain at each other. Like, I can't believe we're out here doing this right now. So I think Acosta probably did enough to take home the decision. But I'll tell you what, Duarte at 15 years old is as tough as they come. You know, I think maybe a little work on the cardio will help as she moves forward. I think there's some opportunity there. Again, not minimizing the altitude. It's a real thing here. As you said, I mean, about 3,000 feet above Denver, you know, which we think what that does to athletes.
The altitude capital of the States by many people's regard. And at 15, extending a 28-year-old all the way to the scorecards, you know, and having so many good moments and being a physical presence inside the octagon. Seems like they're clearing out the nasal right there.
Yeah, no, I love it. It kind of reminded me of getting COVID tests back in the day. The smile, you saw the smile, you saw her wag the tongue out a little bit, you know, gesture to the camera. I think, you know, there's going to be your winner right there in Acosta, but I do think Duarte can, you know, take some solace in the fact that she turned in a great performance. She showed guts, and at 15 years old to be willing to go in there and push yourself to the limit like that, that's a nice place to build from.
Talk about the reality of where Karol Duarte will be in 13 years at Laura Acosta's age. I mean, the opportunity is endless, and with the increased awareness and eyesight on Colombian mixed martial arts and Latin America mixed martial arts in general, she's only going to benefit from it.
Absolutely. To be testing yourself at this level at that age, I mean, you just don't normally see that.
We sent it inside to find the official decision between Laura Acosta and Karol Duarte. As you predicted, John, Laura Acosta bounces back into the win column, snapping a 2-fight skid. What a performance. I mean, did everything correct on the feet. The striking looked fantastic. Defended the grappling in really, you know, expert ways, I would say.
And has a great cheering section up there as well. They're chanting her name, going at it. So, yeah, big smiles there. That third round, She was certainly exhausted, but I think she did a good job of keeping that distance, staying at range, landing the better punches. She was just able to stay busier than her opponent, and that's a hard-earned victory. Well done.
You can see a lot of relief as well. I mean, this is probably mentally was a big challenge coming back from 2 defeats, getting in there, getting extended, feeling that pressure again, right? And for her to come out with a win, awesome scenes here in Bogota, Colombia.